So, in my last class, I have already discussed about the mass defect, binding energy, as well as nuclear force. Today, we will discuss a new topic of that same chapter, that is radioactivity. First, we have to know what is this term radioactivity. Radioactivity is nothing but a process, or we can say a spontaneous disintegration shown by some unstable atomic nuclei, which is known as natural radioactivity. This radioactivity is again divided into two types, that are natural radioactivity and artificial radioactivity. Actually, what happens in periodic table, many elements are there, and the elements whose atomic number more than 80, they are automatically radiate energy, and the energy will be radiated in terms of some radiations, that like alpha, gamma or beta radiations. We will discuss it later. And artificial radioactivity is what? The nuclei which are not capable to radiate energy, to emit radiations. We have to make the isotopes of them, and then it will just emit radiations. So this way, this radioactivity is of two types, and simply we have to understand the term that nucleus are there which have more atomic mass. They are unstable, just like uranium, thorium, especially the elements whose atomic number more than 80, which those are in the periodic table having atomic number more than 80, especially they are the radioactive nuclei which are just to radiate energy, and this energy is radiated in terms of alpha, beta and gamma radiations. This property is associated with the emission of certain types of penetrating radiations, which are called radioactive rays or Becquerel rays. Why it is called the Becquerel rays? So penetrating radiations which are known as Becquerel rays, just like alpha, beta and gamma. It is known after the scientist Becquerel. Especially this radioactivity was detected by the famous scientist Becquerel. So this is also known as the Becquerel rays. And the elements or the compounds whose nuclei disintegrate and emit radiations are called radioactive elements. Disintegrate means they are just emitting radiations. After emitting radiations, they are just, that process is known as disintegration, or we can say that the decay, the spontaneous emission of radiation. When a nucleus just spontaneously emitted radiation, it is just a disintegrate or decay. So it was discovered by Henry Becquerel. After the scientist Becquerel, the rays are just named after alpha, beta and gamma rays. And the radioactive decay, there are three types of the radioactive decays. The disintegration occurs, that means the heavier nuclei just emit radiations in terms of alpha, beta and gamma. So when this alpha radiation is emitted, that is alpha decay, alpha disintegration we can say, and beta plus decay, two types of the decays are there, and gamma decay. We just simply discuss about what are the decays, how they will occur. Just slightly we have to discuss about them. Just like first one is alpha decay. Actually, when a nucleus emits an alpha particle, alpha particle is nothing but helium-2 nuclei. So it is clear that the remaining nucleus will be different from the original. It has lost 2 protons and 2 neutrons. So is it clear what it is written here? When when a nucleus emits an alpha particle, that is helium 24, the new element will be formed, and it is clear that the remaining nucleus will be different from the original. It has just 2 protons and 2 neutrons. For example, suppose one nuclei is here, it has mass number just greater than 80, and Ra is 88 to 26. This is the atomic number, and this is the atomic mass number. Is an alpha emitter. Suppose radium is there, radium 88 to 26, and it just radiates an alpha particle. Then when it radiates an alpha particle, it will goes to another new element. Means after decaying, it is just converted to another element. What happens here? It is written that the proton number is decreases by 2, because alpha particle has helium 24, means proton number is 2 and atomic mass is 4. So when radium is just emit alpha radiations, it decays a nucleus having Z 88 minus 2, that is 86, and the atomic mass will become 226 minus 4, that is 222. So a new element will form when radium just emit an alpha particle. A new element is formed whose atomic mass whose atomic number is 86 and atomic mass number is 222. So the new element is nothing but the Rn. So radium 80 to 26 equal to give rise to Rn 86 to 22 plus helium 24. So it is clear that when alpha decay occurs, a new element is formed. The daughter nuclei Rn 86 to 22, the new element which is formed, that is known as daughter nuclei, and the first element which is present from the first, that is known as the parent nuclei. When the parent nuclei decays some radiation, it will become the daughter nuclei. So a new element is formed, that daughter nuclei Rn 86 to 22 is different from the parent nuclei, that is radium 88 to 26. So simply in the format we have to use here, that when an element, maybe this element, suppose radium is just emits an alpha particle, no doubt other elements are there. So a simple format we can express for the emission of alpha particles, that is the changing of one element into another, is called transmutance. When transmutation means when this is at the parent nuclei, and this parent nuclei by emitting an alpha particle, it is converted to the daughter nuclei, that is a new nuclei. So this process is nothing but that is known as transmutation, and the alpha decay can be written as, we can simply written as X. Suppose X is the nuclei, XZA, this is the atomic number and this is the atomic mass number, give rise to X dash. This is the daughter nuclei, X is the parent nuclei and X dash is the daughter nuclei, that is X dash Z minus 2 A minus 4 plus helium 24. This is the alpha particle. That means when a parent nuclei just emits an alpha particle, the atomic number number is decreases by 2 and the atomic mass number it decreases by 4. So it will become simply XZA, give rise to X dash Z minus 2 A minus 4 plus helium 24. This process is known as alpha decay, and here X is the parent nuclei and X dash is the daughter nuclei. Next come to the instability can be expressed in terms of the energy or mass. That means when an element just unstable, it is just represented or expressed in terms of the energy or mass. Why? Because the energy and the mass are just related to each other. According to Einstein's principle, mass energy equivalence relation is there. Mass can be converted into energy. So the mass of the parent nucleus is greater than the mass of the daughter nucleus plus the mass of the alpha particle. So you will observe easily this one, that here the mass, suppose here we have to see, this is the sum. So individually it is just less than the parent nuclei. So the addition will give that the mass of the parent nucleus is greater than the mass of the daughter nucleus always, because here an alpha particle is emitted. So mass of the parent nuclei is always greater than the mass of the daughter nuclei. Here you will easily observe that for the daughter nuclei the mass is 222 and for the parent nuclei it is 226. So it must be greater than the, so this Ra is the parent nucleus and Rn is the daughter nucleus, and the parent nucleus has greater mass that the daughter nuclei. So you can easily observe that one, and is greater than the mass of the daughter nucleus plus the mass of the alpha particle, and the mass difference appears as kinetic energy. If we take the mass difference of the parent nucleus and sum of the masses of the daughter nucleus and alpha particle, it will give some difference, some amount is to be observed, and the mass difference appears as kinetic energy which is carried away by the alpha particle and the recoiling daughter nucleus, and the total energy released is called disintegration energy. The energy released while the radioactive element just emits some energy, the energy released is called disintegration energy or Q value of the decay. We can say the disintegration energy Q or Q value of the decay. Decay means it is just completely gives to one element which is just reduced its mass number as well as the atomic number. And for conservation of the energy, we know the conservation of energy must be obeyed. So mPc square, when mass is converted into energy according to Einstein's mass energy relation, equal to mc square. So for conservation of energy we have to take energy in the left side and energy in the right side. So here mPc square means energy equal to mc square. So mPc square equal to mdc square. This mdc square means you have to confirm this is the energy, but mp for parent nuclei, this is the energy of the parent nuclei, this is the energy of the daughter nuclei, plus m alpha c square, energy of the alpha particle, plus q is some kinetic energy which is released. So where q is the kinetic energy, mp is the mass of the parent nuclei, md is the mass of the daughter nuclei, and m alpha is the mass of the alpha particle. So in this way the disintegration process also obey the conservation of energy principle. That means the energy of the parent nuclei is the same, equal to the mass, energy of the daughter nuclei plus energy of the alpha particle plus releasing of some amount of the kinetic energy. So from here we can calculate the Q value of the reaction. That means the releasing value of the kinetic energy. How we can calculate Q value? We just observe here that mPc square equal to mdc square plus m alpha c square plus Q. When Q must be in right side, so it will become mPc square minus mdc square minus m alpha c square. So it will give the Q value. So Q value is mPc square minus md plus m alpha whole into c square. So Q value just represent how the reaction will occurs. So here given, if the parent had less mass than the daughter plus the alpha particle, always I have told that the parent nuclei has much more mass than the sum of the mass of the daughter plus the alpha particle. But one thing is there, if the parent had less mass than the daughter plus the alpha particle, so then what happens? If this one is less and this one is greater, the result must be negative. And just observe that MP is larger but MP is smaller, MD plus M alpha is greater. Then what happens? The result must be negative. That means the Q value must be less than 0 and the decay could not occur spontaneously. So, for the conservation of the energy, the law would be violated. If the parent nuclei has less mass, less energy than the daughter nuclei plus the alpha particle, then the decay could not occur, disintegration will not occur, because if it has less mass, it cannot radiate energy, it cannot reduce its mass, so the conservation of energy cannot be obeyed. This law must be violated. Now we have to solve one problem, that is regarding this disintegration or Q value, and the question is that calculate the disintegration energy when uranium 92-232 having mass 232.037146 mu, you means mu you have to read, decays to thorium 90-28 having mass 222.028731 mu with emission of or alpha particle. So the question is like that. For conservation of the energy, uranium 92-232 is the parent and thorium is the daughter, because the decay of uranium 92-232 give rise to thorium 90-28. So using the conservation of the energy, mass of helium-24 is 4.002603 mu and the total mass of the final state, how we can calculate? Uranium 92-232 give rise to thorium 90-228 plus He24. So we have to add this one. So its mass is 220.028731 mu plus we have to add the mass of the alpha particle, that means helium 24 nuclei, that is 4.002603 mu. It will totally become 232.031334 mu. But the mass lost when the uranium thus decay is, how much mass will be lost when uranium decays? The total mass we have to minus, we have to take the, that is 232.037146 mu, the given mass, here the given mass of the uranium minus the mass what we have get the in the final state. If we will take the difference, it will not be 0. That means there is some energy lost. That energy lost amount is how much? 0.005812 mu. And we know 1 mu equal to 931.5 MeV. This thing we have already know. 1 mu equal to 931.5 MeV, and the energy released is how much? Q equal to, we have to express this mu in terms of MeV, mega electron volt. So we have to simply multiply 931.5 MeV, it will become 5.4 MeV. This energy appears as kinetic energy of the alpha particle and the daughter nuclei. So if questions are there and you have to calculate the Q value, you have to calculate in that method. You have to simply note that you have to take the parent nucleus and daughter nucleus, and you have to add the mass of the daughter nuclei plus mass of the alpha particle. Then you have to take the difference of the mass of the parent nuclei to the sum of the masses of the parent and the daughter nuclei. How much result will come? That is the mass defect, which is expressed in terms of mu. And to convert this mass defect into energy, you have to just multiply that 931.5 MeV, because this thing we have already calculated in the previous classes, that 1 mu equal to 931.5 MeV, and this energy appears as kinetic energy of the alpha particle and the daughter nucleus. Next come to beta decay. Alpha decay this is all about, and come to this beta decay. Beta decay is nothing but the electron emitted in beta decay is not an orbital electron. You have to remember that alpha particle is the positively charged particle, that is helium-24 nuclei, and beta particle is nothing but the electron. And here it is written that the electron emitted and gamma particle must be neutral. We will later discuss about alpha, beta and gamma radiations, and ultimately all the properties of alpha, beta and gamma radiations. But you have to remember one thing, that alpha is the positively charged particle, that is helium-24 nuclei, beta is the negative electron, and gamma is neutral particle. So in beta decay, the electron emitted in beta decay is not an orbital electron. That is not the orbital electron. In the beta decay process, an electron emission occurs, and instead the electron is created within the nucleus itself. The electron is not created within the nucleus. It is not the orbital electron. One of the neutron changes to a proton, and in the process to conserve charge emits an electron. Actually what happens in beta decay process, neutron changes to a proton, and to conserve charge conservation must be obeyed in the nuclear reaction. So in the process to conserve charge, it emits an electron. The free neutron actually do decay as follows. Actually how the decay will occur? By the free neutron, that is neutron give rise to proton plus electron plus a neutrino. Because of their origin in the nucleus, the electrons emitted in beta decay are referred as beta particle rather than as electrons. These beta particles can be treated as electrons that are negatively charged particles. So beta decay is just like this. This is happening like this, that neutron give rise to proton plus electron plus a neutrino. This is all about the beta decay. Then come to gamma decay. Gamma decay, how it will occur? That when an alpha or beta decay takes place, the daughter nucleus is usually in the higher energy state, and such a nucleus comes to the ground state by emitting photon or one single photon, a number of the photons. So order of the energy of the gamma photon is 100 keV, kilo electron volt. So suppose for example cobalt 2760 give rise to nickel in excited state. This star mark means excited state, that is the higher energy state also we can say. Here it is written also, star mark means higher energy state, plus beta plus 1 and neutrino, this gamma particle, gamma photon. And this if the nickel 2860 higher energy state release one gamma photon, this is gamma photon. Photon is just the quantum particle of the light, and Ni from the higher energy state to the normal state, that is Ni 2860 plus gamma photon. So this is all about the gamma decay